Good morning. It is May 16th, and we are almost a week after the massive hail damage that occurred. The backyard tulips and other bulbs are coming up beautifully. We lost a lot of the tulips and daffodils and other bulbs that were already up when the hail hit last week, but there were still a good number that were only just peeking out of the ground, and many of those are now up and blooming, or we can at least see what they're going to look like. So let me show you. This pot here has continued to bloom beautifully. Yeah, just look how pretty these pointed petals are as well. And some gorgeous little daffodils here. This pot is finally responding. These ones, I will need to look and see what exactly did I put in these pots, because what tends to happen lately is that I buy a ton of bulbs and then I get into an emergency where I just have to get them into pots and planted. But look at this. So these are the apricot hyacinths here, and they are coming up. They're actually blooming way far into the ground, which I need to figure out why that was. This one here had come up, and as you can see, it got hit by the hail. These ones here, these four were, that's actually two down at the bottom, and I think there's one there, but they just didn't come up at the same time, and then as they did, they just remained in the ground like that. So it might be a watering issue that I can fix for next year. Look at this, the Lady Jane tulips. These are the botanical ones, these small ones here. You can still see which ones had been, gotten by the hail, but many of them had just closed up really tightly, which is absolutely lovely. They are nice and big this year. Like they really like it here. These tulips are over a foot tall. The pink impressions, those things are so strong, and they have in fact grown and multiplied. But so it's just especially heartbreaking that so many of them were killed by that hail. Those that remained that had been hit by the hail, I just took off most of the buds to try to let them put more strength into letting the bulb recover. But after getting hit and blown and torn apart like that, they almost look like parrots. It's like the parrot tulips, which is really interesting to me. Let's see, there's some of the Valerie finis. These are the Carnegie. These are the Carnegie hyacinths. They have lasted very long, even after all of these were up, and they had all gotten some amount of damage from the hailstorm. But I mean, you can see a lot of the the little nails, they call them, these little flowers that are part of the main bloom stalk. They had gotten knocked off. But we have had rainy and very cold weather, like 50s and 60s for the last week, and they've just lasted absolutely gorgeously. So yeah, so these ones just starting to go over. In fact, you can see this here that had gotten damaged, but wow, they're great. The Yellowstone ones are dead and gone. These here are the white ideals, and they are starting to go over faster than the Carnegies, but they were more compact and very tight with all of their buds. There's one here that is maybe a little bit better preserved than the rest, but I'm seeing a definite difference in the lifespan of the Carnegie and the white ideals, although they just different growth habits, which was nice. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, seriously, look at these Lady Jane tulips, the Clusiana types. Wow, I'm still finding, still occasionally picking up the dead and broken leaves lying on the ground. Just really more for hygiene for the area. But yeah, then more of these, all of the tulips that were open, and all of the daffodils too that were open, were just smushed But yeah, this is exotic emperor. And they do start to get wild anyways. You know, like just as they open, they're so beautiful and almost parrotish. This guy got hit by all the hail and hasn't like opened since, but so did this one here, but they're not quite dead, right? And then more of these have opened. That one might be a replete. And I've got some phlox coming back from prior years. I had 2 of the phlox plants that survived, which is really, really nice. Let's see, but yeah, look at that. I mean, they just look so striking. Oh yeah, we've got some, this is sage, perennial sage coming back for the 2nd year. Got more of these tulips. Let's see, and I put something back here, some kind of bulb, and now I literally don't remember what it was, but I think it might have been a, might be anemones. I don't know. They're not in a good spot for it because, as you can see, this almost never gets sun. The rose bushes over here are actually starting to leaf out, and I still need to come in here and clean them up because I haven't done that yet. But yeah, but they're coming back. Oh yeah, let's see, over here in this corner, these are a couple of the Narcissus Fiore Pianos that were hidden during the storm. This one might be an Acropolis one that is finally doing its thing that I had planted last year. I think, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Let's see. Oh, back here we have some, I put in these tulips here. These are new. And I was afraid that they weren't going to come up at all, but it looks like a couple of them have. It is definitely soggier back in this direction. So we'll see what happens. But they have this pink, they're going to be pink tulips, and they have white variegation on the leaves. And some of this pink does develop into more white over time, which is just hugely interesting. But yeah, I am going to have to water these guys more next year. I keep thinking that it's incredibly wet back here all spring, but wow, they love the water in the spring. They don't want it during the winter. All right, now we're getting into some of the new ones that were not up at all when we were here before the storm. But yeah, so a couple of parrots, those are coming up really beautifully. Let's see, we got some aborted bulbs here. I've got more things coming up in the middle. I don't even know what that is at this point. But yeah, more exotic emperors here. In this area from the year before, I recall that I had put in some carousel tulips. So far I have not seen hide nor hair of the carousel tulips. But we'll see what's coming up. This area, whatever I had put here, is just nothing has come up at all. So they're either, whatever bulbs I put in are either totally dead, or they're so late that they're not even sending up shoots. And I just start to question whether anything could possibly be 100% under the ground at this point. So I think whatever I had popped here is just dead. You know, never developed. Here we go. These are some daffodils, I think, that are coming up. Look at this, we have little tiny baby tulips. These are gonna be probably the Verona tulips. And someone named Pink, there's another parrot. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this variegated foliage. I don't really care for the mottled foliage. You've heard me say that once or twice if anyone is watching this video except for me, and since this is really my record to try to remember year from year what I'm doing and to give myself tips for the following year. These are so pretty. I believe that what you're seeing here is an Esperanto tulip, and it's basically a reddish version of the Chinatown tulip. And I had gotten, I think, maybe 50 of them. But yeah, but I am so happy with these little guys coming up. I'm pretty sure that's, I'm gonna even go so far as to say I know that is what these have to be here. Some of these other tulips were like Lasting Love. I did put in some Van Goghs somewhere, and I don't know if they're coming up at all. Like this, that could be, but it's like a fringed, very dark, maroony, purplish red tulip, and I haven't seen those. But yeah, but I think that might be lasting love here, since I wanted to get some red tulips. But yeah, but if all of these are Esperantos, oh, I'm gonna be just thrilled with them. Very neat, huh? All right, and then we've got these pink ones here that are just a really beautiful bloom. I like the colors, but as you can see, most of these got hit hard with the hail. And then back over here, I've got some very pretty little red tulips, kind of a bright red, and I'll have to look at my notes to see what these might be. But yeah, they're definitely coming up. They have smaller buds than others. And there's some more with this variegated foliage down there, what survived. Yeah, these were, I thought that this was basically like a purple mix that I had gotten from Costco that were all Longfield Gardens, but this does not look like a purple mix. I mean, some of them look purple right there, but most of them are red back over here. Well, we'll see what happens, huh? All right, and then this raised bed. I am so happy that I put in this whole raised bed, and I have packed it with bulbs, and a bunch of them hadn't even started to come up. Some of them, like the hyacinths, are all done. Over here, I had even, in this is my longest established tulip bed that I put in soon after I moved in, so it's probably 4 years old at this point. But a lot of those have split, but I had also tucked in a few new bulbs there, so we'll see what's coming up there amongst the hail damage devastation. We do have a couple of the alliums are starting here. Yeah, and then there's other tulips that are coming up. Yeah, these little guys, so interesting. They might be orange emperor even, possibly a Fosteriana, but yeah, they're, they wouldn't be ones that immediately appeal to me, but boy, they have come up just gorgeously. They do not look as much like they don't have that sort of urn shape that ballerina tulips have for me. So we'll see what those are. These guys, some daffodils. I did try to put in more daffodils last year. Look how big this guy is. This is just gorgeous. It's a double yellow. It's actually pretty fully yellow. There's a little bit of greenish in there. And then we've got some yellow tulips right behind it. Look at, I mean, seriously, the bud is like as wide, it's as tall as my hand is wide, or maybe even a little more so, but that's a big bud. Over here, I think these are probably Queen of Nights that are starting to come up here, which I've never had before. Very excited about that, just to see what they're like. And I had put in some Gavata tulips in this bed too, that we'll see what those are. These are going to be our early stage Queen of Night. I did put in probably 20, I think, or so here. These guys, I'm gonna have to check and see what these are, but because they're very pretty. They're doubles. They're opening very, very short at this point. They are, and I think I'm just gonna need to water them more over the winter. That's gonna be my watchword for next year. But yeah, they have a little bit of a pinkish cast to them. There's more alliums, and then there's bulbs there that I think those are going to be alliums too, just coming up a little later. Last of the hyacinths, and then I packed all of this. I put in some irises, and I put in some other some of the Byzantius, gladiolus byzantium, that are supposed to be hardy, and they are kind of a 100% pink, and you know, they don't look like your usual gladiolus. They have, I think, just a very few flowers that'll come up. So I bought these at the end of the season last year and tossed them in. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Got something else coming up here that I'm gonna have to check what it is. I did put in some seeds. I was trying to direct sow some cool crops here, and so I had put in like some, I think they were like delphinium or larkspur. I put in some things here, but then soon after it just hailed its well, I won't talk about the hail anymore, but you know what happened. But now there's something coming up here that's clearly from a seed, and we'll see what it is. But yeah, this is just going to continue to develop. I'm really glad that I have the backyard that blooms even like 2 weeks later than the front yard. Yeah, look at those yellows. Gosh, I'm so impressed with them. All right, I'm gonna go. If this is my nephew watching, Kyle, hello, honey. I love you and I miss you. And take care. Bye.